friends, how are you doing? Let's talk about CRISPR. Let's talk about Applied Digital. Two very unique investments here, very unique stocks, and I think they deserve people's attention 100%. One of them is doing very well financially. One of them is living off loans and IOUs, but we're going to get into that. So I hope everyone is doing well, but I do think that these could be stocks to hold for potential what's coming here. And let's talk about that. Let's go right into CRISPR here. So CRISPR, gene editing, very unique. This might be something you've never really got into in the stock market, but it is a very kind of stock situation that is happening here. This is a company I've talked about many times before, but it's something that Cathie Woods, a lot of other big investors are putting money into, pushing into. Now, I do want to say this, that CRISPR is, when it comes to CRISPR executing quarterlies, making money, the company is literally making zero, nothing. Now, that's not to be mean, that's not to be critical of what CRISPR has going on financially, because CRISPR essentially is this new setup situation focusing on this revolutionary gene editing situation. I'm not a scientist, listen, I can't tell you. But what I am telling you, for you as an investor, this could be, and what a lot of big investors that have a lot more money than us are thinking, that this could be revolutionary stock to hold into the future. Something, I kind of put this in the same conversation as like Tempest, very similar situations when it comes to, what could be. So Cathie Woods putting a lot of money in this, but there's a lot of people like Cathie Woods and just silent investors too. Essentially what CRISPR is living off of is investments, grants, things like that, to really push what's coming here. It's just one of those companies right now that is trying to get what they do as for their bread and butter as a company, making money into what they're going to be doing into the future, what they say how they're going to make money, trying to nail that down. Now, I don't know how long it's going to take for CRISPR, because no one seems to have an answer here for how long it's going to take CRISPR to start bringing in crazy revenue. No one knows. But the quarterlies are coming out here on August 8th. Now, I don't think anyone is expecting much here for what CRISPR is going to do. Even Cathie Woods, when she talks about CRISPR, she's very enthusiastic about it and what could happen. But it is a sense of, this could be a long play. Now, CRISPR, when I was talking about CRISPR just 2 months ago, this was a $30 stock. Now it's double that price, because there's a lot of expectation of what is going to happen here with it. And you're seeing the stock really shoot up in price. It's freaking nuts. It's just crazy what the stock is doing right now. It's one of those things where it's really hard to say, because most times you talk, when anybody talks about a stock, a company, you immediately go to the financials. Well, are they bringing in, 30 million revenue, 100 million revenue? Are they bringing in, are they bringing in 10 million, 5 million? What are they doing? Are they bringing in $1 billion revenue? Well, CRISPR is essentially all over the place, and like I said, it's not really, there's no proof in the pudding of what it really can do on its own fundamentally. It's the what could be, that if they really do nail this down and this goes public to this company can work for the public here, it's going to be mad money, insane money. Just and two, the things with the medical field and medical stocks, they either make a ton of money or no money. This is one reason why there's like two kinds of stocks that I usually do not get wrapped up in. It's usually car stocks and medical stocks. Well, and I'll say cannabis stocks. I'm pretty much done with cannabis stocks. Those three things I usually don't mess with. Now, if I was gonna pick a medical stock, it would probably be Oracle, Johnson & Johnson, something like that. Even Pfizer, as much as I hate to say it, but it'd be something like that. This is just a very unique situation. I'm not telling you to invest in it, but I watch it every day. I try to read everything this company is doing about, because one thing that I do like to invest in the stock market is futuristic companies. So, companies that seem like, well, this may be really big for what they're going to do here, and very unique, and really no one else is doing it. Well, That's where CRISPR really comes into the conversation here, what they're doing. It's a situation as there, no one can really, like I said, give you a fundamentally a solid answer of when this may start to work. Now, if you're willing to buy CRISPR and hold on to it for the next 2, 3, 5 years, yeah, this may really work out for you. And two, much like what we've seen here with Tempest in the past year, is probably going to be what we're watching here in CRISPR, where CRISPR just continues to move up, just continues to push up based on hype, based on, I just want to be a part of this, and whatever happens, happens. That's kind of what a lot of people seem to think with CRISPR, and I'm one of them. Like, I'm very interested in what's going on over here with CRISPR. So with all that said, I'm watching it. I'm watching CRISPR. I don't know how many people are actually putting money into it. I think a lot more people are probably prone to putting their money in something like Tempest, because Tempest is actually on the other side of the fence, like, hey, we're actually making a ton of money and we're pushing into two fields of, tech and healthcare. So, but I'm still, I think CRISPR has a lot to offer here if they can actually nail down what's going on here business-wise, money, all that kind of stuff, and everything just comes together. Then this could be a gold mine of a stock in the future. I want to move into Applied Digital. This is a company that, once again, that I am very, very in the positive that this company is going to continue to do well into the future, based on that where tech is going, and this company is really going to be a heavy-handed business for tech as we continue to push into it, for data centers, things like that, of what they're doing, building these cooling systems that they have. I think the situation of what you're watching right now, you're really watching Digital World Acquisition here really come into their market. They're really starting to find some bigger revenue. Now, obviously, the last revenue this year's been a little, it hasn't been bad, but the last quarterly kind of scared a lot of people because Q1, Q2, very good quarterlies. The last one here kind of tapered off quite a bit. I don't think it's a terrible situation. This is kind of the history of Applied Digital, very rocky road of quarterlies, but nonetheless, through those roads here, we've seen it continue to push up into new revenue streams here. So more than likely, as long as and I think too, it's going to take time. It's going to take another solid year for them to really prove that, hey, we are going into $70 million, $80 million revenue quarterlies, to where we can really prove ourselves as bringing in these steady quarterlies. Listen, the one thing I know about, Wall Street, big money like that, they like steady quarterlies. They do not like this taper bullcrap. They do not like it whatsoever. So, Applied Digital is a situation where I do think there's going to come a time and moment here where it just gets expensive. It just gets expensive, and people are going to have to decide where they want to go with the stock. Just back in April here, the stock fell to $3, and before that it was a healthy $8-10 stock. And then obviously when that dip came in April, this stock sold off to $3, and then guess who bought a lot of people, a lot of us bought it. And now the stock just back in June here hit a high of almost $14, and then since then it's been playing around this $12-11 position, $9 on a bad day. It's safe to say that as long as these quarterlies kind of keep bringing in this heavy revenue, and that's the thing too, it's a very detailed argument right now with this company, because even though they missed the last quarterly, and they do quarterlies a little different over here in Digital World, but even though they missed that last quarterly, they're still very much in this new structure of revenue. So it's like, we can say they missed quarterlies, but this is, last year they weren't bringing in anywhere close to this kind of money. So in theory, pen to paper, mathematically, they're bringing in a ton of more money than they were last year. And if we can see them really the rest of the year push into this, $70-80 million zone, at least getting back over $60 million per quarterly, we're going to see the stock rise in price, especially going into next year. So, I wouldn't shy away from the stock. I know it doesn't get a lot of press, it doesn't get a lot of people talking about it, but I think nonetheless it is a stock that really, really needs people's attention. Listen, there are plenty of companies, there's plenty of stocks out there that just don't, that are making good money, that are undervalued, that should be getting more attention, but they just don't. For whatever reason. It's just a situation as is. C3 is a great example of that. I mean, you look at C3 and what that company has been doing, quarterly rise, how fast it's been growing, and people don't talk about it. I don't know why they don't talk about it, but I mean, that's another great, you're looking for, fundamentally as investors, what should you be looking for? You should be looking for companies that are making money, and we're talking, this is the money here, folks. This is what we're looking at. So Applied Digital, I think that is something that you 100% should look at. I think too, the more that company goes into dips, people will buy it up 100%, because quarterlies have been very good, very good. CRISPR, I'm not going to go into it again. You know how I feel about it. I'm watching it like a hawk. And two, it's just waiting for the dam to kind of burst there with it and see what happens. Friends, I want to wish all of you the best of luck. Like I said, I said this in I think I said this in the other video, but I don't know if I'm going to release any more videos this week with the second channel here, because I am out of town. I am visiting my grandfather, who's having some trouble, and I will be in the middle of Amishville, no man's land, and there will be Wi-Fi at the nearest McDonald's. So we'll see if I can get there. But still, I will be making videos. Kingdom Come somehow, hell freezes over, I will make videos on the main channel and stay up to date there. So friends, I want to wish all you best of luck. Thank you so much for being here. Listen to me yap my gums, and yeah, bye everyone.